And it's true, God does reign forevermore through Jesus, right? Oh, I love that. Oh, I love this going on over here. That's great. When I was reading the sacred text and studying it this week, I have a confession to make. When I first read this text about 6 weeks ago and decided to do a sermon series on the bread of life passages in John 6, I thought, well, I'll just deal with that text later. Because it's a little graphic and we become uncomfortable with the imagery of eating Jesus' flesh and drinking the blood of Jesus. And this morning after I read that lesson, I came down to Carol and said, well, the vegetarians are probably going crazy. And she said, I am a vegetarian. I love that. But I think it's important that we study the whole of the Bible. And so this is the assigned text in the lectionary for this week. And so we're going to give it a shot. And you see what you think. What I'm going to do with this text. The other thing is it's okay to be uncomfortable. You know, we spend a lot of time in life hearing things that make us question things, hearing things that we have feelings about, hearing things that just drive us crazy. And I think the Bible is one of those books that we just don't understand all of it, and we need to give ourselves permission not to understand it, right? Hence, part of this text, right? But together this morning, we'll flesh it out and see where we're going.
Flesh it out.
Oh, flesh it out. Oh, I get it. I think that most of us, when we go to the sacred text, we go to them because we're looking to find meaning in our lives. We're looking to have answers to questions that we're dealing with, the realities that may be difficult. Oftentimes, we go to the text when our lives are in a shambles, right? How many people really, truly, people of faith, read Scripture each and every day, right? Thank you. I do. I'm your pastor. I at least read the text, right, that we're doing each and every day. And what I want to encourage you to do is when you read the Bible, open it up. If you don't understand something, let that be okay. And ask God to reveal to you what it is you need from that text, right? It is easy for us to assume that the text this morning is not relevant to us. Eating flesh, drinking blood. Even the people that heard Jesus say this, the temple authorities, were questioning, what are you talking about? How can a living person, how can we understand eating your flesh and drinking your blood? It doesn't make any sense. Jesus, amen. See, the dog agrees. We love that. So Jesus, first of all, he is preparing his followers to know what is coming, right? To know what is coming. Because Jesus chose to be a radical in his day. He went to people and shepherded those who needed a shepherd. He said, I am the vine, you are my branches, right? People who chose to follow after Jesus because they wanted what he had to offer, right? And so Jesus is thinking, I'm getting ready to leave these people. I've got to begin to prepare them. And the reality is, he is giving them imagery of the death that he would endure. A death that he was willing to endure for each and every one of them, and each and every one of us, and each and every one who lives, period. Who lives, period. Right? Jesus' death is not something that most of us marvel in thinking about. It's not something that we want to think about because it was a barbaric death. But it is something that we experience in our own day. Think of the way that Jesus died. He died to the hands of power and control, right? He died at the hands of people that were threatened by what he had to offer and what he was teaching, and they were confused because his teaching became relevant, because people's lives were being changed. Healing was happening, and so Jesus threatened their power structures of the day. Does it sound kind of familiar to you? Sound kind of familiar to you? Right? We are living in a day where power and control seems to be the topic of the relevance of many of our leaders, right? Even those that we trust seem to be doing nothing, right? And so we pray, we continue to stand up and show up to speak against those powers, believing that God has a purpose. Jesus died a barbaric death. But Jesus went to that death willingly. He's foretelling of his death, reminding people, you must eat of my flesh and drink of my blood. Because that's where you'll have life. And lo and behold, it doesn't stop there. Because God chose to rewrite history that Jesus did not stay dead. Jesus rose from the dead. God took a barbaric situation and brought life to it, reinventing life. Each and every one of us experiences the same reality. How many times have you been going through something and you dared to believe, you dared to look at what purpose God might be having in your life, and that you were living through whatever situation you had? How many times have we been faced with the same reality of God rewriting history in our own lives? God taking something that might have been meant by others to put us down or to marginalize us. Injustices galore. But God intervened and rewrote our reality. That is about love. That is what Jesus is talking about. Jesus said, I am the bread of life, sent by God. Sent by Abba God. And so each time that we participate in receiving God, we realize that God is interested in the whole of our lives. This is why Jesus says, you must eat of my flesh and drink of my blood. What Jesus is saying to us is that God is interested in every part of our being. Each and every situation that we go through. Each and everything that we care about. So God is concerned about the whole of our being. One of the things that Reverend Elder Darlene Gardner said in my installation service here was, who are you in your becoming? And she reminded us that this is a congregation that at one time was known by its ability to cause drama. D-R-A-M-A. Drama. Right? You can relate to that, right? This was a church that was known for having difficulties and letting those difficulties be known. So Darlene Gardner said to you, if you're expecting your pastor to change all that, you got to get up and get right on up out of here. Because the pastor cannot do that. And then she said, and Pastor Kenny, if you think that you're a person that is free of drama, you get up and get on out of here. To which many of you said, no, he just arrived. And then what she said is this: may you forever remember that wounded people wound people. That wounded people wound people. And may you not live in your woundedness anymore. And I am glad to say that 2.5 years later, we are not living in our woundedness here, but we are a congregation who has embraced the truth that we can speak our truth with one another, that we can talk about our fears and our brokenness and our pain, and we are learning to own that pain and not blame others for it. You get what I'm saying? Because as we own our pain, then we can begin to work it out. Then we can begin to receive help. And then we can commit the pain to God and watch God do a good work within us. It's like this. As we commit ourselves to grow in Jesus, we do that by participating in the sacraments of Holy Communion and Holy Baptism. And as we receive this bread of life, as we take the drink of life that we say is God's love poured out for us, we remember that we're not going through life alone, that God is ever present with us to bring good things to us. And you know what? We need to be reminded of that. Because it's a journey that I think sometimes we take for granted. We are much more willing to complain about our realities than seek solution in them. But when we are willing to put down the blame game, then God can do something very beautiful in us. Because we are choosing to be fed by God through the words of Jesus. The Word made flesh. The Word that came to be one of us and to live among us. And that is nothing but a story of hope and love and freedom and grace. And what else? What else? Tell me, how do you experience God? Call it out. Joy. What else? Gratitude. What else? Peace. What else?
Comfort.
Comfort. Healing. What else? Freedom. What else? Safety. That's right. You cannot experience any of this without knowing the presence of God in our lives, as you understand God. This presence that brings freedom and liberty, that brings justice from injustice, that allows us to get up and be who we are and know that who we are is a beautiful thing. And that God says to us, each and every one of us, no matter where we are on our journey, that we are beautiful just the way we are. That we are loved just the way we are. And that our presence in the world makes a difference just the way we are. Because of this amazing love that sets us free. And so, we grovel with this eating of the bread because it means eating of the flesh, drinking of the blood. But that's what redemption is about. Because God makes the promise to be with us, to be for us, with our whole being joined together with God's whole being. Now that should excite us, right? Because we have the assurance that we are never left alone. We have the assurance that no matter what we go through, God partners with us. Think of this. In Jesus' death, God experienced the pain and agony of watching God's own Son endure tremendous pain. But this is also the same God who redeemed that pain to bring joy and liberty and life to us all through that pain. I wish it had a different reality. it's also important to remember that God did not cause that pain. That pain became reality by the injustices of the world at the time. Power and control. People who were threatened. People who did not understand. And may we learn from that. And may we make a decision to stand up and speak up always. Because we are set free in our becoming as we do so. As we care for one another and the world, our reality is changed. And in knowing that, we come to the realization that it's because of bread. It's because of juice, of wine. Jesus' body, Jesus' love poured out for us. May we never, ever take for granted this gift of holiness. But may we also know that we are more than worthy to receive it and to come and take hold of it, to let our lives be changed because of it. And as we come and receive, may we go from this place to make a difference in our world. And we do that by going to the monument and standing for peace. We do that by bringing backpacks. We do that by bringing school supplies. We do that by having a bread ministry. We do that by ensuring that our food pantry is open. We do that by coming to Living Wednesday. We do that by coming to worship, to be filled and to be reminded of these amazing gifts of grace that transform our reality. So may we always eat the flesh of God and drink the blood of redemption and know that God is good. And God is good